Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Right out the gate, before we even start talking, I want you guys to check out this picture and tell me what you think. Who do you think this person is? What kind of person do you think they are? You might already know if you're privy, if you've been following the news or on Twitter like how I am, but essentially, I want you to check out this picture. It looks really funny to me. And no, it's not a guy from the band ZZ Top. This is not a motorcycle guy. He doesn't participate in a motorcycle club or play in a rock and roll band, play in a cover band. No, he's not some bum on the street either. He's not Rasputin or a Fu Manchu from China or something like that. No, this is actually Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. This is the guy who's in charge of Twitter, in charge of one of the largest social media platforms in the world. This is the guy who's censoring stories from the president, from world-renowned doctors. He's the one controlling information in a lot of ways on the internet. He's pushing for a lot of left-wing stuff, and it's just funny to me that he not only looks like this, he also appeared like this in front of our government. He had a Senate hearing. He spoke with a lot of government officials in government in Washington, D.C. He was obviously live streaming, but this is how he showed up to the meeting. Sure, he has a blazer on, but he also has this gross looking beard. He looks like a bum off the street. And in addition, you can't really see on this picture too much, but he has a nose ring. He always wears this feminist nose ring. So we have a feminist CEO who looks like a bum, and this is the guy controlling information, deleting posts from conservatives, and removing our accounts outright sometimes. And in addition, promoting left-wing stuff, giving Biden cover, promoting him on the trending page, silencing the president, putting little notes on the president's post, removing people from his staff from the whole website. And I just think it's absolutely hilarious. This guy looks like a total insane, crazy person because in a way he is. He's not all there. Sure, he's a CEO. Sure, he's functional. He's obviously probably very smart too. I'm sure he knows a lot about coding and technical computer stuff for nerds, but as far as understanding the real world and knowing how to handle this new sort of empire that he's in control of, well, he's definitely failing there. He's not doing an unbiased job. He's not doing a great job of just letting the people entertain ourselves, share information on the platform. Like, he should just be running the platform physically, making sure that the website's operational, updating some features, maybe talking about maybe updating your messages or your replies or something like that, like how it works. But instead, he spent a lot of his time curating the information, censoring stuff that he doesn't like or disagrees with, also promoting things that might not even be true, but since he agrees with them and they help his cause, he puts them out there. And that's why we're talking about today. Essentially, Jack Dorsey appeared in front of the government. He did this whole hearing with other top social media CEOs and runners and presidents and stuff like that. And it just turned into a really bad thing. Like, not only does he have a bad appearance, he performed badly at this meeting. He proved himself to be a sort of liar because he acted like he wasn't censoring stuff. And then, as you'll see in other details on this story, that turned out to happen. He actually turned out to censor people even that very same day. So we're going to read more about it. We're going to start with this post from the New York Post. It says, Twitter is running a blackmail operation. Cooperate or no traffic for you. And I think that sounds extreme, but it's a fair assessment, especially coming from the New York Post. Let's remember the New York Post was one of the people that sparked this interesting kind of wave of questioning Twitter. What happened was a few weeks back, they released a story on the New York Post. They tweeted it as well. And they said, hey, here's the Hunter Biden story. Bidens are corrupt. This is the evidence. We got this laptop. We got these emails, phone calls, text messages, all this stuff. And they're corrupt. They're doing bad things. They're taking money from other countries. They're using their power to gain wealth. And Twitter censored that. They deleted the post. They locked the New York Post account. And in addition, anyone that tried to enter that link was stopped, couldn't even be shared. The story was disappeared. And you got to ask yourself, since then, why? Why are they hiding that story? It's never been disproven. No one has even denied the accusations. There's no proof that it's false. There's no proof that anything is wrong in there. It's all actually been confirmed. There's been lots of confirmations. People that were on the email chains have confirmed their correspondence. Other people have confirmed being at these meetings and stuff like that. I mean, some of it just confirms itself. It's pictures of Hunter Biden. There are pictures of him doing illegal things, being naked, hanging out with lots of girls, doing very, very scandalous stuff. And it's just insane that Twitter tried to censor that. That's why the government called in and said, hey, we're going to have a hearing with big tech and talk about why you guys are just trying to act like you were some dictator for information. And they acted like this was misinformation or something. People said it was Russian misinformation ahead of the election, but none of that's proven. No one's been able to disprove this stuff. So saying Twitter's running blackmail, it's like, yeah, you have to be liberal. You have to go along with what they want to post, with what they want to share. Otherwise, they're going to just silence your account. This happens on other social media too. I've seen this happen to multiple accounts. For me, I'm not in favor with a lot of people because I support the president, because I say things that are on my mind. I speak the truth. So that's why we don't get shared. That's why subscribers don't get my videos. That's why I can't get any traction on Twitter or Facebook or stuff like that. And it happens to a lot of other conservatives too. For all their talk of neutral platforms, the big shots of big tech, Twitter, Facebook, and Google are running a protection racket. They figure they can dictate what Americans get to see and read and what other media companies must do to reach the public via those platforms. It's a clear threat to a healthy democracy. And Congress has noticed. On Wednesday, the Senate launched a hearing to investigate big tech's bad behavior. Center stage Twitter's strong-arm tactics to center the post ever since we began reporting on Hunter Biden's emails. First, it froze our account and banned our stories. Then, amid a public backlash, it agreed to unfreeze us, but only if we deleted our original tweets. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey sounded like every mob enforcer and shakedown artist in history. Nice paper you got there, New York Post. Shame should something happen to it. He knows full well media outlets depend on social media and Google search algorithms to help readers access our reporting. Senator Ted Cruz wasn't fooled. He said, Mr. Dorsey, who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear? He thundered. Why do you persist in behaving as a Democratic super PAC, silencing views and to the contrary of your political beliefs? That's right. That's a fair assessment. Ted Cruz is someone who brought this up before. We talked about that in a video before. We talked about how he was being alpha and calling out Twitter. He was the one trying to post that original story. I don't understand Twitter's authority here. I don't know what they're thinking. I think they're just so blinded by their bias. They don't even know they're biased anymore. They think this is just normal behavior. Democrats are just so used to being unfair and deleting conservatives and canceling them and promoting themselves and artificially boosting themselves. They think that's fair. They think that's normal. They think that's the way it should be. And they think they'll get away with it too. Most of the time they do get away with it. We'll see if anything comes of this situation. But right now it's happening ahead of the election for dueling reasons. I mean, first of all, that's why big tech is censoring so much right now. They're trying to sway the election. They don't care if they get in trouble right now. They're more focused on winning because if they win, they'll get cover from Joe Biden. Joe Biden will walk things back and give them even more free reign. So they're trying to stop Trump at all costs. Trump winning again is a bad, bad sign. You'll see other supporting Republicans like Ted Cruz going after big tech in the future. So they want to stop that. In addition, the other reason that the conservatives are going after them is because of that. They want to stop that ahead of the election. They want to bring it up and bring this issue to the voters, let people know there's bias in big tech. If you don't know, I think you're not listening, you're not wanting to know, or you're probably a Democrat who just wants to pretend it's not happening because it's favoring you. And that's really what's going on right now. And I think it's a very interesting story and it has a lot of truth to it. A lot of people could be exposed and hopefully something does come of it because I would appreciate it too. I work in these kinds of realms as well. I'm online, I'm making videos, sharing them on the internet. If we could make this thing more fair, that's all I ask for. I'm not asking for special treatment. Right now, I'm actually getting special treatment. I'm getting shadow banned and silenced and people can't find my videos even when they subscribe to me. So all I'm asking for is a fair shake. Let my people that want to watch this channel watch it. There's no reason to hide stuff from people. There's no reason to censor information. There's no reason to delete accounts. All that stuff is super unnecessary. I'm a big purist when it comes to censorship. I think everything should be allowed to be talked about. I think unless you're actually breaking a law, you should be able to say something on the internet. You should be able to have an account unless you're in jail, unless you've passed away. There's very, very few rules where you have to say, hey, this should be stopped. This needs to be silenced. And that's the worst part is that they just have taken that to the extreme level. It's not even like, oh, did you threaten someone? Did you actually do something illegal online? It's like, no, if you report on the wrong story that's positive for President Trump, you'll get your account deleted and they'll say you're dangerous to society. That's what liberals always act like. They're scared of everything. They're like, oh my God, this sign is threatening. Oh, this poster is threatening me. This video is dangerous. When really either they're pretending to be more scared than they are, or if they are really scared, then they're acting like children and they just need to grow up. Dorsey tried to claim that it was all a mistake that had been fixed, but the Post account remained locked even as he spoke. Can the New York Post on their Twitter account? Cruz asked. If they go into their account, squirmed Dorsey before Cruz cut him off. No is your answer to that, fumed Cruz, unless they genuflect and agree with your dictate. Besides, if it was an honest error, then why do they only happen on one side? As Senator Senator Marsha Blackburn noted, Twitter has censored the president 65 times and Joe Biden 0. There is a pattern of subjective manipulation of information, nor can Twitter and Facebook, which also moved to suppress the post reporting, claim there's anything wrong with the stories. Asked if they had any evidence of that, Dorsey and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg both admitted they didn't. Some folks think that the paper should have just caved immediately and deleted the story, yet the problem isn't the post's failure to squelch stories. It's big tech's heavy-handed shakedown. That's right, this is a blackmailing type situation. This is a bad look for big tech, a good look for the New York Post. By the way, New York Post has been around for around 200 years. This is an established newspaper, should be at least somewhat respected for its longevity, and they should be allowed to post on the internet and have stories. I mean, you could say they're true or false. I don't even think a false story should be censored by these big tech people anymore. I mean, they're saying it's false, but it's not, so they're just censoring stories they don't like. They don't have any proof that there's anything wrong in it. They're just saying it's misinformation. It's totally insane. I mean, why do they have to take it down even if it was false? Why not just let it out there and let people talk about it? I mean, I understand posting fake stories is a bad thing. I don't want newspapers and places to lie. I don't think that's what's happening here, but I'm saying worst case scenario, they don't even need to delete bad stories. They don't delete them. In fact, as they said with the biasness claims earlier, they only do this on conservatives, on stuff that makes their liberal side look bad. They delete that stuff and say it's not backed up or it's misinformation or whatever their excuse is at the time, harassment or something like that. And it just only happens one way. And that's why I think the story is just so bad. And before we end, I want to point out one more suspension. This happened after these interviews. It says Twitter suspends U.S. border chief over pro-wall posts. So another example, another sort of follow-up. Those interviews, they didn't help them or stop them from doing this BS. And that's why we need to keep talking about it and bring an end to it. That about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you on the next video.